Welcome to episode number 6 of Flat Mr. Sheiner. Today, we're in a special secret location. We've done Flat Mr. Sheiner episodes at some great places like Brooklyn, New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and we've gone to such a historic and literary spot like Sleepy Hollow, New York, as well as other hot spots in and around North Jersey. But today, we are in, dun dun dun, Bergenfield, New Jersey, our hometown. And right now, we're in front of Bergenfield High School, home of the Bears, getting ready to meet our special guest for today, who we're gonna meet at the famous Cooper's Pond in town. I'm gonna give you a little bit of the history of Cooper's Pond. We're gonna meet our special guest, walk around the pond, and talk a little bit about Bergenfield. Sometimes I just like to drive around and listen to the world famous drums from the Bergenfield High School Marching Band. We're here at Cooper's Pond, and I'm about to meet my very special guest. And here he is, Flat Manny. How you doing, Manny?
I'm doing good, Flat Sheiner. How are you?
I'm excellent. Manny, we're here at Cooper's Pond, and we're going to teach our class, my class, your class, and my other classes a little bit about the history of Cooper's Pond and some hot spots in Bergenfield. You ready?
Of course I am.
All right. Well, the building in the background is the Richard Tunis Cooper old chair factory. We're going to walk up to that chair factory, and we're going to talk a little bit about the history of that building. You ready to go?
Of course.
Let's go. All right, Manny, we're here at the old Cooper Grist Mill and Chair Factory. That's this red building behind us. You want to learn a little bit about the Cooper Chair Factory?
Sure.
All right. In 1860, the Cooper Chair Factory was the largest industry in this area, employing 25 workers. However, the business started to decline in 1863, just before the Civil War, when their New York showroom closed. Some contributing factors for the decline may have been the economics of the post-Civil War and Civil War period. Suspected embezzlement by the Cooper son-in-law, Peter Banta, was also a possibility. That's not good, Manny. There's a Banta place in Bergenfield right up the road. Banta was drafted during the Civil War, but never returned home. Mr. Banta was thought to have been killed by the Confederate soldiers during the Civil War. Well, we don't know that to be true, but we hope he didn't steal money from Mr. Cooper. Right, Manny?
Right.
Yeah, that's not good. Let's walk around a little bit more and get a little bit more history of Cooper's Pond and this area. Let's go.
Okay.
Hey, Manny, let's walk this way to the museum.
All right.
Hey, Manny, right now we're in front of the Bergenfield Museum. This used to be the old mill house for the Coopers. You got any questions for me, Manny?
I think. What do they do with the factory today?
Well, the factory today and this whole area is a museum. The museum hosts permanent exhibits reflecting the important aspects of Bergenfield history, such as the Cooper Chair Factory, the armed forces, or people who fought in the armed forces for all the wars that lived in Bergenfield. And it also talks about our fire department, our police department, and our public works. It also, the museum hosts a lot of Bergenfield High School memorabilia and pictures and street scenes from years and years ago that people filmed and took pictures of here in Bergenfield. Okay, let's walk around and I'll tell you some more information.
All right.
Hey, Manny, we just ran into a very nice woman that told us the last people that lived here were the Marchbank family, and they were the last owners of the Cooper house and the property. What'd you think about that encounter?
It was pretty cool.
That really was cool, just running into someone here at the pond that knew a little bit more history about Bergenfield and the history of the Cooper grist mill and chair factory. Let's walk a little closer to the chair factory and we'll talk some more. But in the meantime, okay, if people want to come to the Bergenfield Museum on Cooper Street, it's open on Tuesdays and Saturdays between the hours of 1 and 3. It's not a lot of hours, right, Manny?
No, not really.
So if you want to get to the Cooper Museum or the Bergenfield Museum, you got to come here once again on Tuesdays and Saturdays from 1 to 3 in the afternoon. Let's go.
Okay.
All right, Manny, we're now here on the other side of the house at the actual chair factory. The chair factory and the grist mill are all part of the Cooper's property. The manufacturing of chairs ended in 1894, 7 years after the death of Mr. Cooper. The entire property was divided by his son Henry Cooper, and he inherited this section of the factory in 1897. But he sold the property to Oscar Marin, a toy maker. Oscar Marin remained the owner until 1908 when he sold the factory to a piano maker, Amos Bergman. Mr. Bergman died in 1948 and left the property to his housekeeper, Daisy, and then she sold it to the family we just learned about, the Marchbanks. There certainly were a lot of families that lived on this property, Manny, right?
Sure is.
What do you think about that?
It's crazy.
It is crazy, okay? But this factory, this chair factory became a piano factory and a toy factory. So a lot of people don't know that little fun fact. Even probably some of the people that live close and around this area. Want to learn some more?
Of course I do.
All right, Manny, let's walk around the pond some more.
All right.
Hey, Manny, wait up! Stop running around the pond. Mr. Shiner's slow. He can't keep up with you.
Start it.
Hey, Manny, we're on the other side of the gazebo and the pond. When I was young here, Cooper's Pond was a hot spot for people to come ice skating in the 1970s and 1980s. Would you want to ice skate if Cooper's Pond froze over?
Not sure.
Have you ever gone ice skating before?
I have on a park once.
That'd be cool if Cooper's Pond froze over and we could go ice skating someday. The property of Cooper's Pond, the grist mill, and the chair factory is listed at the National and State Registers of Historic Places. This is historic land right here in our own hometown of Bergenfield, New Jersey. Okay? Currently, okay, the pond is open to the public, and like I said before, the museum house, the mill house, is open Tuesdays and Saturdays for people to check out some of the artifacts at the museum. I hope all of my students take advantage and come to the Bergenfield Museum one of those days and check some things out. You gonna come back to the museum, Manny?
Sure.
Awesome. Let me know and we'll meet up. Let's
All
keep
right.
walking, all right? And maybe we'll get a snack somewhere. Sound good?
Of course.
Cool. Hey, Manny, don't get too close to that goose. They bite.
Oh, okay. Hey, Mr. Sheiner, what's that?
Well, Manny, we're here at the pond, and this is the Hanukkah menorah. We're filming in the month of December, and not only Christmas is in the month of December, the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah. One of the great things about Bergenfield is it is so culturally and ethnically diverse that people of all faiths and religions live in town. So right here at Cooper's Pond, we have the big Christmas tree and the Hanukkah menorah. Let's continue walking around and see some of the sights.
All right.
Hey, Manny, we're here at Cooper's Pond in front of the Christmas tree, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the history of Bergenfield. Bergenfield was incorporated as a town on June 25th, 1894. The original name of Bergenfield was Schralenberg. Dutch immigrants, along with Huguenot immigrants, settled here and named it Schralenberg, meaning barren knoll or barren hill. All of this land was just flat farmland. Most of the residents that lived in Bergenfield were Dutch farmers during the 1700s. One house inside the limits of what is now Bergenfield is a brownstone parsonage used by the South Church pasture, which we'll see on another video. There were only 3 other stone buildings: a tavern, a flour and fee mill, and a woodworking mill during the 17 and the 1800s. And that's part of what we're here now in Cooper's Pond. Let's keep walking.
All right. Hey, Santa, you're looking a little sleepy. Want to know what I want for Christmas?
We're here at Bergenfield Pizza. Manny's inside with his dad getting a table and ordering up some slices. And we're gonna stop and have a little lunch and then continue on our tour of some spots in Bergenfield. Can't wait to meet Goomba and eat his pizza. Hey Manny, thanks for being my special guest on episode number 6 of Flat Mr. Sheiner. Behind us is Franklin School. That was my elementary school. And you're at Roy W. Brown. And I'm gonna walk around Bergenfield a little bit more, but I think you got some homework you gotta do, Manny.
Oh, do I really have to?
Yes, Manny, you gotta do the homework, at least for my class. But I wanna thank you. Hey, where are you going? Get back in the shot. I wanna thank you for being my guest here today, okay? Love your giggle, Manny, on episode number 6 of Flat Mr. Sheiner. And I'm gonna walk around maybe a little bit more and film some other things. And I wanna thank your dad for bringing you down to the pond while we film this video. I'll see you Monday in school.
Okay.
Well, we hope you enjoyed episode number 6 of Flat Mr. Sheiner. We took a little bit of the history of Bergenfield, Cooper's Pond, and put it into this episode. We now are here at Veterans Memorial Park, which is one of the more famous parks here in Bergenfield. And this park was established, as it says, in 1921 to honor our Bergenfield citizens who served in the military: Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. This plaque down here was dedicated to all those who served. We'll see you next time on Flat Mr. Sheiner.